This is the Daf Yomi for February 13th, 2025, Tu B'Shvat. We're in Sanhedrin 58. I'm gonna start with the end of 57 because it's a continuing paragraph or thought into the next. So with regard to the opinion of Rabbi Meir stated in the first clause of the Baraita, the Gemara asks, and does Rabbi Meir hold that any forbidden relations for which a Jewish court administers capital punishment is prohibited to a descendant of Noah? Isn't it taught in Baraita with regard to a convert, now we're in 58, who was not conceived in sanctity, as his parents were still Gentiles, but his birth was in sanctity, as his mother converted before his birth? He has maternal kinship, and his relationship to his mother's relatives is recognized, but he does not have paternal kinship. How so? If he married his maternal half-sister who was born before him and converted, he must divorce her. Although by Torah law they are considered unrelated, as a convert is considered to be reborn and all his previous family relationships are disregarded according to halacha. So that's according to halacha, not like you're not saying genetically you're not related. The sages prohibited their marriage, lest he think that as a Jew it is permitted for him to engage in behaviors that were previously forbidden to him. So if she is his paternal half-sister, he may marry her as his wife, as it is permitted for a Gentile to marry his paternal half-sister. If he married his father's maternal half-sister, he must divorce her. If he married his father's paternal half-sister, he may maintain her as his wife. If she is his mother's maternal half-sister, he must divorce her. If she is his mother's paternal half-sister, Rabbi Meir says he must divorce her, and the rabbis say, so that's the majority opinion, the rabbis say he may maintain her as his wife. As Rabbi Meir would say, with regard to any forbidden relative who is forbidden due to maternal kinship, whether the woman is his paternal relative, his father's maternal half-sister, or his maternal relative, he must divorce her. Whereas if she is forbidden due to paternal kinship, he may maintain her as his wife. And according to all opinions, he is permitted to marry his brother's wife and his father's brother's wife and all other relatives with whom relations are forbidden in the case of a born Jew are also permitted to him. The expression, and all other relatives with whom relations are forbidden, is added to include his father's wife, who is permitted to him if she was widowed or divorced from his father. With regard to a Gentile who married a woman and her daughter, and they are all converted, of course, he may marry one but must divorce the other one, and he should not marry the second of them, so ab initio, another Latin. If his wife, the daughter, died, he is permitted to maintain his mother-in-law as his wife, and some say that he is prohibited from maintaining his mother-in-law. In any event, Rabbi Meir clearly holds that several forbidden relationships for which a Jew is not liable to receive capital punishment, but only karet, are forbidden to descendants of Noah as well, namely intercourse with one's sister or one's parent's sister. So, like an aunt. Right. Rav Yehuda says this is not difficult. This Baraita cites the statement of Rabbi Meir according to the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer. And that previously mentioned Baraita cites the statement of Rabbi Meir according to the opinion of Rabbi Akiva. As it is taught in Baraita with regard to the verse, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and shall cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Genesis 2:24. That Rabbi Eliezer says his father is referring to his father's sister. That is, one must abandon the possibility of marrying his father's sister and marry someone else. His mother is referring to his mother's sister. Rabbi Akiva says his father is referring to his father's wife. His mother is referring to his mother, literally. So it says, and they shall cleave to his wife. And shall cleave to his wife. The quote from Genesis. But not to a male. Such relationship is not defined as cleaving. To his wife, but not to the wife of another man. Quote, and they shall be one flesh, indicates that he should marry one of those with whom he can become one flesh. That is, they can bear children together. This excludes domesticated and undomesticated animals, which one is prohibited from engaging in bestiality as they do not become one flesh. All these are forbidden to the descendants of Noah. And I want to point out, too, because there's a lot of crazy haters out there that say that Jews allow all kinds of stuff. The reason why you can't, another reason why you can't, do stuff to children, they say that Judaism teaches that, it does not, is because you can't waste seed. So if you're trying to be with somebody who is not who's not able to procreate too young, that's completely a violation. Completely a violation. It's a violation on so many different levels. It's disgusting that people even bring that stuff up. Someday we're going to get to it I guess as this stuff comes up, but I don't want to, there's so much hatred out there. I don't want to have to like pound it every single day, because that would be my entire life's, work. But crazy, right? Here we go. The master said in this Baraita that Rabbi Eliezer says his father is referring to his father's sister. The Gemara asks, why not say that it is referring to his father, literally prohibiting homosexuality with one's father? The Gemara answers, this prohibition is derived from another phrase in the verse, quote, and shall cleave to his wife, but not to a male. This includes his father. The Gemara asks, why not say that his father is referring to his father's wife? The Gemara answers, this prohibition is derived from the term to his wife, but not to the wife of another man. The Gemara asks, why not say that it is referring to his father's wife after his father's death, when she is no longer a married woman? The Gemara answers, the term his father is interpreted in a way that is similar to the interpretation of the term his mother. Just as his mother is not forbidden due to her marriage to his father, but rather due to her relationship to him, so too the term his father is not referring to a relative who is forbidden to him due to her marriage. So Rabbi Eliezer says that his mother is referring to his mother's sister. The Gemara asks, but why not say that it is referring to his mother literally? The Gemara answers, this prohibition is derived from the term to his wife, but not to the wife of another man, and his mother is his father's wife. The Gemara asks, but why not say that it is referring to his mother after his father's death, when she is no longer married? The Gemara answers, the term his mother is interpreted in a way that is similar to the interpretation of the term his father. Just as the term his father is not interpreted literally, so too the term his mother is not interpreted literally. Rabbi Akiva says his father is referring to his father's wife. The Gemara asks, but why not say it is referring to his father literally? The Gemara answers, that prohibition is derived from the term, quote, and shall cleave to his wife, but not to a male. The Gemara challenges, if so, the prohibition of his father's wife is also derived from another term, quote, to his wife, but not to the wife of another man. The Gemara explains the term, quote, to his wife is referring to his father's wife after his father's death when she is no longer married. Rabbi Akiva says his mother, quote, his mother is referring to his mother literally. The Gemara challenges that prohibition is derived from the term, quote, to his wife, but not to the wife of another man. The Gemara explains, according to Rabbi Akiva, the term his mother is referring to his mother whom his father raped. That is, she was never his father's wife. So, with regard to what principle do Rabbi Akiva and with regard to what principle do Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Akiva disagree? Rabbi Eliezer holds that the term his father should be interpreted in a way that is similar to the term his mother, and his mother should be interpreted in a way that is similar to his father. So you find such an interpretation only with regard to sisterhood. That is, his father is referring to his father's sister, and his mother is referring to his mother's sister. And Rabbi Akiva holds that it is preferable to interpret the term his father as referring to his father's wife. He was referred to as his father's nakedness in the verse, quote, you shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's wife, it is your father's nakedness. Leviticus 18, verse 8. To the exclusion of his father's sister, who's referred to as his father's kin in the verse, quote, and you shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's sister, she is your father's kin. Leviticus 18:12, and who is not referred to as his father's nakedness. Come and hear a proof for the opinion of Rabbi Akiva from the verse. It says, and Avram took Yochebed his aunt as a wife. Exodus 6:20. What, was she not his maternal aunt? Presumably, Yochebed was the sister of Kohath, Amram's father, from both of Kohath's parents, and not from his father alone. Evidently, a descendant of Noah may marry his father's sister. The Gemara rejects this proof. No, she was his paternal aunt, Kohath's half-sister. Since she was not Kohath's sister from his mother's side, she was not forbidden to Amram. That's Moses' father. Okay, so come and hear a proof for the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer from what Abraham said to Avimelech with regard to Sarah. And moreover, she is my sister, the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. And so she became my wife. Genesis 20, verse 12. By inference, the daughter of the mother of a descendant of Noah is forbidden to him. The Gemara rejects this proof. But how can you understand that Sarah was Abraham's sister? She was his brother's daughter. By tradition, it is known that Sarah was Haran's daughter Isha, And since that was so, there's no difference whether they were paternal relatives, and there's no difference whether they were maternal relatives. In any event, she was permitted to him, even according to the halacha of Jews. Rather, this was what Avraham was saying to Avimelech there. She is related to me like a sister, as the daughter of my brother is like a sister, and our relationship is from the side of my father, but not from the side of my mother. So come and hear a proof from a Braita. For what reason did Adam not marry his daughter? So that Cain would marry his sister, and they would procreate immediately, as it is stated, for I have said, the world should be built on kindness, chesed. Psalm 89, verse 3. This verse alludes to the fact that at the beginning of the world's existence, it was permitted for men to marry their sisters, which was later forbidden in the verse, and if a man shall take his sister, it is a shameful thing, chesed. So Leviticus 20, verse 17. The Gemara infers, if it had not been so, if God had not specifically permitted Cain to marry his sister, she would have been forbidden to him. This is difficult according to the opinion of Rabbi Akiva, who deems it permitted for a Gentile to marry his sister. The Gemara rejects this proof. Once it was permitted for Cain to marry his sister, it was permitted for all descendants of Noah to do so, and it was forbidden only to Jews, meaning like later on. Right? Rav Huna says a Gentile is permitted to marry his daughter, and if you say, for what reason did Adam not marry his daughter, it was so that Cain would marry his sister, because it is stated, quote, the world shall be built on kindness. There are those who say that Rav Huna did not say this. Rather, Rav Huna says a Gentile is prohibited from marrying his daughter. Know that this is the halacha, as Adam did not marry his daughter. The Gemara rejects this statement, but that is not so. It says, but that is not so. This is the reason Adam did not marry his daughter, so that Cain would marry his sister, because it is stated, the world shall be built on kindness. Rav Hista says a Canaanite slave is permitted to marry his mother, and he is permitted to marry his daughter. This is because he has left the category of a Gentile by immersing in a ritual bath for the purpose of becoming a slave to a Jew, and consequently all his previous family relationships are disregarded according to halacha. But he has not entered the category of a Jew, as evidenced by the fact that he is not obligated to observe all the mitzvot of male Jews. Therefore, the decree of the sages prohibiting the maternal relatives of converts does not apply to him. So, when Rav Dimi came from Eretz Yisrael to Babylonia, he said that Rabbi Elazar says that Rabbi Hanina says, in the case of a descendant of Noah who was designated a maidservant as a mate for his slave, and then he himself engaged in intercourse with her, he's executed for adultery on her account. The Gemara asks, from when is she considered the slave's mate? Rav Nachman says, from the time that she is called so-and-so's girl. The Gemara asks, from when is she released from her relationship with the slave? Rav Huna says, from the time that she exposes her head in the marketplace. Since married women would cover their hair, even among the Gentiles, by exposing her hair, she proves that she no longer wishes to remain with him. Rabbi Elazar says that Rabbi Hanina says, a descendant of Noah who engages in intercourse with his wife in an atypical manner is liable for engaging in forbidden sexual intercourse, as it is stated, and shall cleave to his wife. Genesis 2:24, an expression that indicates natural intercourse, but not intercourse in an atypical manner. Okay. Rava says, is there any action for which a Jew is not deemed liable, but a Gentile is deemed liable for performing it? A Jew is not liable for engaging in atypical intercourse with his wife. Okay, let's see, where are we at? Rather, Rava says that the verse is to be understood as follows. A descendant of Noah who engaged in intercourse with the wife of another man in an atypical manner is exempt. That's exempt from just that law. Not like, okay. What is the reason? The verse states, and shall cleave to his wife, but not to the wife of another. With regard to this prohibition, the verse states, and shall cleave, indicating natural intercourse and not intercourse in an atypical manner. Rabbi Hanina says a Gentile who struck a Jew is liable to receive the death penalty as it is stated when Moses saw an Egyptian striking a Hebrew. And he turned this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he struck the Egyptian and hit him in the sand. Exodus 2:12. Rabbi Hanina says one who slaps the cheek of a Jew is considered as though he slapped the cheek of the divine presence. As it is stated, it is a snare or a mokesh for a man to rashly say, Yallah, holy. Proverbs 20, verse 25. The verse is interpreted homiletically to mean one who strikes, nokesh, a Jew, is considered as though he hurt the cheek, lo'ah, of the Holy One. The Gemara states a mnemonic for the upcoming statements of Reish Lakish. Raises his slave, Shabbat. Reish Lakish says, one who raises his hand to strike another, even if he ultimately does not strike him, is called wicked, as it is stated. And 2 men of the Hebrews were struggling with each other, and he said to the wicked one, why should you strike your friend? Exodus 2:13. The phrase, why did you strike, is not stated, but rather, why should you strike, indicating that one who raised his hand to strike another, even if he ultimately did not strike him, is called wicked. Ze'eri says that Rabbi Hanina says, one who raises his hand to strike another is called a sinner, as it is stated, and the priest lad would come, etc., and would say to him, but you shall give now, and if not, I will take by force. 1 Samuel 2:15-16. And it is written with regard to this behavior, and the sin of the youths was very great. 1 Samuel 2:17. Sorry, the sin of the youths was very great. Rav Huna says, his hand should be cut off, as it is stated, and the high arm shall be broken. Job 38, verse 15. If one habitually lifts his arm to strike others, it is better that it be broken. The Gemara relates that Rav Huna cut off the hand of a person who would habitually hit others. Not like that he did this on his own. This is like court administered. Rabbi Elazar says, such a violent person has no remedy but burial, as it is stated, and as a mighty man, the Ish Zeroah, who has the earth. Job 22, verse 8. The expression Ish Zeroah literally means a man of the arm, and the verse is interpreted homiletically to mean that one who habitually strikes others deserves to be buried. And Rabbi Elazar states a different interpretation of that verse. So actually, so in Judaism, the thing is, what makes something habitual? And it's 3 times, like the goring ox. So there's a concept in the Torah, the written Torah, of the goring ox. So if it does it 3 times, it's defined as a goring ox, because 3 times is basically like the certainty. So if you have someone that habitually is beating people up, right? So the goring ox, it's destroyed after that 3rd time already. So you're also talking about a person, even though, they're not like killing people, they're still assaulting people. And, at a certain point, you can't let that happen, because that it's a certainty. And this would be, this person would be running around society, and that it's just going to keep continuously happening. So, the legal system, the Torah-based legal system is basically putting a stop to that, right? So Rabbi Elazar states a different interpretation of that verse. The land is given only to mighty men who can protect themselves from all enemies, as it is stated, and as a mighty man who has the earth. And in connection with the statement, the Gemara notes that Reish Lakish says, what is the meaning of that which is written, one who works, or oved, his land, shall have plenty of bread? Proverbs 12:11. If a person makes himself like a slave, ke'eved, to the land, devoting his efforts to it, he will have plenty of bread, but if not, he will not have plenty of bread. Reish Lakish says, a Gentile who observed Shabbat is liable to receive the death penalty, as it is stated, and day and night shall not cease. Genesis 8:23, which literally means, and day and night shall not rest. This is interpreted homiletically to mean that the descendants of Noah may not take a day of rest. And the master said that their prohibition is their death penalty, that is the punishment for any prohibition with regard to the descendants of Noah's execution. Rava says, if a descendant of Noah observes a day of rest on any day of the week, even one not set aside for religious worship, so on a Monday, he is liable. The Gemara challenges this, but let the Tana count this prohibition among the 7 Noahide mitzvot. The Gemara explains, when the Tana counts the 7 mitzvot, he counts only those that require one to sit and refrain from action. That is, those that include a prohibition against performing a certain action. He does not count mitzvot that require one to arise and take action. And that's the end of 58. So you want to hear the resolution of that, it's tomorrow.